where Fohammer is coming to pick us up. Hold position here.
Cortana to Echo 419. 2 Covenant Banshees. Negative. We have a Wildcat destabilization of the ship's fusion core. The engines must have sustained...
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
What's going on, guys? So we're kicking things off pretty early on the Pillar of Autumn. As soon as you start off, you're going to start in the cryo tube. You kind of look around for a second, and then you're going to have a prompt on your screen that tells you that you have the ability to climb out. Once you climb out, just walk around to the right. The first goal is iron, right here on the ground behind this little container. Up next is on Halo, with the mythic skull coming up first. Normally you would go left right there over the bridge and then walk through the tree line to the first hold off section against the Covenant. Instead, you're just going to walk straight out of the drop pod over towards this right here, the waterfall and this rock. If you hang a right on the right side of this rock where this water is flowing, you'll see the next one, Mythic, is laying right here in between the rock and the mountain. And then a little ways past that, if you follow on the path that you would typically be taking anyways to complete the mission, I chose to just skip past the Covenant. Instead of grabbing the Warthog, I just walked straight to it. But you're going to head in the same direction that you would normally take the Warthog, but instead of going down the hill, you're going to hang a right again and just walk along the mountainside, and it's going to be right there on the corner. I should also point out that you don't have to do any of these on Legendary like you do on Halo 3 or Halo 2. You can do every single one of these on Easy, and I don't know if Skulls being on affects it, but I did all of these without any Skulls on and didn't have any issues. So that's going to be our second one right there. That's Boom. Right above the actual entrance to the cave. Next one is on Truth and Reconciliation. This is where the hunters spawn in, but if you're quick enough, you can actually catch a couple of these jackals coming out of the door. I just took out one grunt, walked in, and that one is laying right there up against the door. You do have to be a little bit quicker with this one, because if you're not fast enough, the door will shut behind them. But if you don't catch them on the jackals, you can catch it on the hunters. Next up is Silent Cartographer, with Famine coming up first. You can see me looking up at the top of that rock right there. It's on the very tip of it. We're just going to take a left and skip over the marine battle that happens right there at the beginning. You want to hang a right and go all the way around this big like rock formation thing. And on the back side of it, you'll see a path coming up. There it is. You just want to follow this path around until you get to the top of it. Kind of watch me fail trying to jump up it a couple of times right there. We're going to continue walking around the path and then just walk over the top of it until you get to the corner. And that's going to be Famine. And then the next one should be coming up in just a second, Bandana. And Bandana, honestly, is not too terribly hard, but it can be a bit of a pain if you're not used to grenade jumps. I think this is the first grenade jump skull in the Halo Combat Evolved series, where you can actually see it right there on that back wall. So what I like to do is grab the overshield, throw a plasma down right there, jump, and then it'll take most of your shields. Actually, right there, it took all of my shields and some of my health away just to get on top of it. I'm not going to lie, that was probably my 15th or 20th attempt trying to get up there. Next up, we have Assault in the Control Room. I think this is the third room on Assault in the Control Room. You just want to take out all the enemies in this room. It's not too difficult. And then do the exact same tactic that I showed you on Silent Cartographer for the second skull. And this one is going to be the Fog Skull. Next up is also on Assault in the Control Room as well. We have Malfunction. This is right after you kill the 2 hunters. You just want to jump out and hang a right. Let me take out these elites really quick first. What I like to do right here is, I actually couldn't find it for a second there. What I like to do right here is I like to walk up to the edge and kind of just barely walk off so I catch myself. If you don't have full health, you can actually die off of this jump, so try and be a little careful when you go to drop down right here, but typically it's not too far, so you shouldn't have any issues. That one is Malfunction, and the next one is on 343 Guilty Spark. And when you get to this point, this is directly after the tree trunk. When you come up to the metal door installation, you want to turn around and hang a right alongside the wall, drop down, and it's right there in between of these 2 trees. You can also get to this like from the beginning, but I think it's a little bit easier to follow from the door itself. Next up is Black Eye on Library. This is at the very end of the first hallway that you spawn in on. You just want to do a small grenade jump on top of that little block right there. Jump into the right tunnel. You can turn your flashlight on, walk up to the top, and the skull is sitting right there at the top. That one is Black Eye. And then the next one, this is at the very, very end of the mission. And when you get to this point, typically what you would do is you're just going to walk straight across to where that blue beam is right there. But instead, we're actually going to have to walk in a 180 all the way to the back wall on this side. So what you want to do is you don't want to get too close to that beam, because you can accidentally hit the checkpoint and finish off the mission, which is highly unfortunate if it does end up happening, but it's not too hard to avoid so long as you don't walk too close at the beginning right there. I don't think this hallway right here matters. What does matter is when you get to the point right here where you don't want to start walking directly to the skull. You want to start from the wall and then walk alongside that box until you get to it. Next up, we have 2 betrayals. This is also yet again at the very end of the level. You can actually skip a good portion of this. If you grab the Banshee at the very beginning and do the door like breach that you can do with the Banshee. Unfortunately, I have not quite mastered the door breach yet, so I ended up just walking through this, but yet again, I did all of these on easy, so it wasn't too much of a challenge. Honestly, I kind of just walked past most of the enemies regardless. But what you're going to do is you're going to avoid the objective. The objective is right behind me, directly above. Instead, you want to go back towards the door that you came out of initially when you walked outside, and it's right on top of that door behind the column to the left. There it is right there. That one is Pinata. And last but not least, we have the mall with the infamous Grunt birthday party skull. I cannot stress this enough. You saw it at the beginning of the video. Do not pull the Warthog all the way up to this post right here. It is very easy to accidentally jump out and commit suicide. So just try and park it a little bit further back.